Cover is any kind of object that's there that may enhance that structure and may hold the fish. Okay? Structure will hold fish with or without cover. Cover may help it, but structure will hold fish because structure is usually an edge. Now, anytime you're thinking about an edge, especially of like a drop-off or the end of a point, most of the time you're going to be fishing this top edge of the point, okay? When you hear about people structure fishing, a deep water hump, deep water ledge, usually it's that top edge that's really the meat. Now that doesn't mean fish don't occasionally get out here suspended out off the cover, but usually the active feeding fish are in here. We saw that very much with that smallmouth, okay? What we found is that she would spend most of her day. So the top of the ledge she liked during the summertime was about 18 feet deep on the top edge over it, okay? It dropped off to like 70 out here. But she would spend all but a couple of hours of the day, the same depth as the top of this ledge, 18 feet, but she'd be way out over here over this 70 feet of water. And you couldn't catch her and you couldn't catch anything else casting at her. Now, when she would move into this ledge, she was hungry, okay? So it's not that there's not fish out here. And she wasn't like 100 yards out off the ledge. She's usually like from here to the wall out off the ledge, okay? She was still relating to it. She just wasn't actively feeding on it. Excuse me just a second. Got to get my Dr. Pepper here. So concentrate your fishing most of the time on the top edge. Occasionally in the wintertime, I love to fish like the very bottom of a ditch. That's structure too. But that's just kind of a sort of a wintertime deal. A lot of times they like to lay in the bottoms of those channels. They'll get so tight to the bottom sometimes you can't even see them on your electronics until you get them fired up. And then the screen will just kind of come to life. In fact, that's how I won the Bassmaster Classic in 2008, is I found fish that were relating to the very bottoms of the ditches in about 35 to 50 feet of water. And it's fish that were really overlooked. But it was definitely a pathway that I was fishing. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Okay, next slide. Excuse me. Okay, let's talk about some pathways that bass use. The number one pathway in man-made reservoirs, like what we fish here in Texas, is creek channels. Okay? It doesn't have to necessarily be a major river channel. You know, most of our lakes have like a river channel that runs through the middle of them, although that's a pathway too, and the fish will use it. But all the little feeder creeks that come in, if you'll ever notice, the best pockets that you go into on any lake are going to be the ones that have a well-defined channel. Now, based on our conversation, do you have any idea why that might be?
Because they'll probably migrate out, or if weather changes or something, they have somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's the path. It's got a pathway leading in there and out of it. It's an edge. Yes, sir.
It's the most obvious highway there.
It's the most obvious highway there. And that's all of our bass here on our lowland reservoirs, they follow. Here's a main creek channel. It'd be a good thing for them to follow. Look at this little side creek channel going in. It's a good thing for them to follow. Here's another creek channel over here, a good little pathway for those fish to follow. Okay, some other possibilities for pathways. Submerged roadbeds. Okay, and y'all like to fish roads? Okay, yeah, they're good. Whether they're submerged or not, they're good, aren't they? By the way, what do you call it when a roadbed crosses a creek channel?